And once you're in the elevator, and when the elevator's moving.
Right.
So that was a trick.
That was a trick. I think a lot of people didn't realize it, or the people who did realize it were really hardcore.
Okay, where do we go, Sean?
Okay, so the first thing we want to do is head out into the hallway, step forward a little bit to the south, and then turn to your right, and you want to head to the west. And when you get into this room, you'll see a control panel on your right. Blown up. And of course, you know, people will recognize this control panel from Metal Gear Solid 1.
Yes.
This is, of course, where you used the Nikita missile and
Yes.
blew it up. But, you know, it's not completely destroyed. And for people who maybe didn't realize it, you can actually use this, you can still activate the electric floor in the hallway from here using the Mark III. And you can actually use this to electrocute the gecko that comes down in the later half of the stage.
Oh.
Did you know this?
No, I didn't know.
Yes, a lot of people had a hard time to beat the gecko.
Yeah.
This part.
Yeah.
But, you know, what you're supposed to do, or, you know, the best strategy is after the gecko drops down, then you kind of go back into the hallway, hide behind the door, and then use your Mark III and send him over to this control panel and activate the electric floor while the gecko's in the hallway. And you can take him down really quickly. On top of that, you'll also get some driven points as a bonus.
Wow.
Very quick way to beat the gecko.
You didn't tell me that.
I didn't know that.
Oh, okay. Just kidding.
I knew it.
Yeah, when I was playing, you didn't tell me that. Okay.
But, you know, we really wanted to put this in also just, you know, because we had that electric floor in the hallway and we really wanted to use it
way
again.
on.
Yeah, it's something that, you know, players will remember from the first one. Definitely wanted to use that in some way. So you can use that on the gecko. You know, for people who want to try it, you can also use it on Snake. So if you have Snake stand in the hallway and you send the Mark III down here, you can electrocute Snake also.
That's why it's taking a long time to do.
Yeah.
Sean. It took so much time creating this level.
No, it's just, you gotta put the details in there, you know,
Yeah.
especially for the fans.
Okay, one reason I hate this stage, nothing against personally to you, Sean, is about, you know, the gecko.
Right.
And when you have all these dwarf geckos, you know, kind of like trying to sneak through
Right.
and not even get spotted by the geckos nor the dwarf geckos. And, you know, once you get spotted, you're like hammered.
Yeah. You know, there's a way to do it.
Yeah, tell me what's in this stage, how do you do it?
Well, in this stage, of course, you know, at the end, after you finish talking to Otacon and restoring the power to the stage, you come back up the elevator, and, you know, there's a gecko that follows you up.
Yeah.
You know, you're supposed to distract the gecko while Otacon opens the door. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But there's actually a faster way to get through it, and that is just to, you know, destroy the gecko. And so this applies to all the gecko in the game. You know, the weakness is their leg, right? They have very weak legs. So if you aim for the knees, you can actually bring them down. And once they're on their knees and they're on the ground, you can aim at the head. And there's a weak point right at the top of the head. If you equip your solid eye and look at it, it'll actually show you the weak point. And say, you know, shoot here, basically. You know, they kind of have that triangular head.
Yeah.
And if you're looking at it from above, it's kind of in the middle. More or less in the middle.
Yeah.
So if you shoot at that particular area, then you can very quickly take out the gecko. So even using something like, you know, your M4 Custom or just any type of gun, you can quickly hit the legs and then hit the head right after that, and you can take them down pretty quickly.
Any other gecko episodes?
Well, there's the gecko, and then there's also, as you mentioned, you know, the dwarf gecko.
Yeah, I hate those.
Yeah, you hate those. I think everybody hates the dwarf gecko. But, you know, we wanted to add some kind of personality to the stage that's different from everywhere else. And so, you know, the idea was you have these dwarf geckos that just kind of swarm out and smother you. But, you know, there's a way around these as well. You know, of course, you can just shoot at them with, you know, rapid fire, and that works. If you're trying to sneak by them, you can also use tranquilizer rounds on the dwarf gecko as well.
Really?
But you have to aim for the arms.
The arms.
Yeah, if you hit that orb part in the center, they'll just, you know, realize you're there.
Yeah.
You get found. But if you aim very carefully and hit the arms, you can actually incapacitate them.
I always got the feeling that the dwarf geckos are much more, you know, smarter than normal guards and things like that. Just a feeling.
Yeah. Well, you know, the thing is, they're mechanical, so they follow, you know, set routes and like patterns because they're supposed to be a machine. But the thing is, they're very sensitive. You know, they have very good hearing, especially. So you really have to walk slowly while you're around them. If you run by, you know, they'll hear you running. They'll come after you. So. Yeah, I think, you know, the key is just to kind of walk slowly, you know, use your tranquilizer guns to get past, you know, particularly challenging areas. And then also, of course, if you have chaff, you can use a chaff grenade. And that makes things really, really easy.
Well, at the really end of the game, I really kind of gave up and I just ran through the dwarf geckos. Someone told me this technique, just run through it.
Right.
Just dive and run through it.
Well, that works.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, because, you wanna head to the next, cutscene or whatever.
Right.
Or the next stage. I just kind of ran through everyone. But anyways, yeah, okay.
Yeah. But, if you do fight them, though, there is a reward that you can get for taking them out. And you can get a very rare weapon from these dwarf geckos.
Oh, really?
If you destroy enough of them, they'll drop a DE, which is a handgun.
Yeah.
It's a really good handgun.
Yeah,
It's a very rare handgun.
Yeah.
And the only enemies that drop them are these dwarf geckos.
I see.
All right, so anyway, from this room now, let's head to the west, and we'll go through this other lab section. So head to the west, and then you'll see a door on the south. So head through that door. And here you'll actually get a call from Otacon, and he's kind of reminiscing on the room, talking about the damage that you did to the control panel.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, well...
That was actually left in intentionally, though.
Really? We were talking about this demo sequence when Otako comes up, and then he kind of has this habit of, how do you say it?
Just kind of pushing his glasses up with his finger.
Yeah, even though he doesn't have his glasses anymore.
Right.
So I asked Sean, was this deliberately made? And the producer, Ken made a funny face, saying maybe it was kind of... It's not a bug, is it?
No.
Okay,
it's not.
Good, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
No, that's something that a lot of people had issues with. Also, they said, is that right? Because he doesn't have glasses, but, yes, that was intentional. If anybody who wears glasses, I think they can attest to it. If suddenly you just switch to contacts and you've been wearing glasses all your life, you probably will.
Okay.
Yeah, well, no watch, and then you
Look at the watch?
keep on,
Look at the wrist, your wrist.
Right.
Sometimes.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I thought it slipped through the thousands of checking.
No.
Okay,
It's not a bug.
Okay. All right, let's go. Okay, we're in this room. I remember all these papers and things like that.
So let's just head to the south of the room. And at the very southern end of the room, you'll find an item. And this is the Metal Gear 20 Years History,
Oh.
Part 2. So people who want to relive the music of the Metal Gear series, it's kind of a medley of all the Metal Gear series music strung together in an orchestra format, which is really cool. Okay, so next what we want to do is crawl under this desk at the south end of the room. And then head to the east.
East Hall
Yeah, you'll find yourself in a hallway.
with the electrifying. This is the electrifying floor, right?
Right. One thing to point out though, on the left here also, if you go to the farthest room on the north, nearest the elevator, people who played the first one, they may remember there's like a Moai statue in the room.
Moai statue.
Moai
Do
statue.
you know that?
No.
No?
Moai statue.
Yeah.
Do you know Moai
So-
statue?
If you head to the north,
Yeah.
and just head to the glass door, number 1,
Room number 1.
Room
yeah.
number 1.
Yeah.
and look in there.
Oh.
You'll see that Moai head from Gradius.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Konami's kind of icon.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's still there. And we actually paid a lot of close attention to that while we were making this. So all the rooms, have the same type of items in them. Anyway, so from this point, backtrack and head to the east. You'll head through this doorway and head into this hallway where you hear a flashback with Ninja, right?
Yes.
From the Ninja sequence in Metal Gear Solid 1.
Yeah, the corridor, with the hall, with all the blood, and, there's a lot of dead bodies.
Right. So we're just going to head through here and Otacon's room. But stop right before you enter the room and actually end here for this session. Because once you enter Otacon's room, there'll be a long cutscene. But we would like to talk about some other things in this stage. People may not realize is, when you are in the cutscene, Otacon asks you to input, the passcode for, the computer. And there's actually several codes that you can put in that aren't actually the correct code. They'll give you some special bonuses.
Cool.
So I think we'll go ahead and explain those codes.
Okay. Name one.
Okay, so the first one is 7 8925, and that'll give you the old LA 2040 music. Where's that from, Ken?
Police notes, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Police Nuts. You know, there is the Police Nuts poster in the room also. So, you know, I think a lot of people at least kind of heard of Police Nuts, even if they haven't played it.
I think a lot of Kojima fans know about Police Nuts and Snatcher in general.
Snatcher.
And, well, one more code is another Police Nuts song, and that is 13462. People want to hear the ending song from Police Nuts. 13462 is the code for that.
Wow. Well, what happens? I mean, I didn't try this. The tune goes on?
You basically get the iPod track.
Oh, okay,
right?
okay.
So you input this code, and then after the cutscene ends, you know, it returns you to the game, and then you get a message.